Let's say then that I was given the right and the power to change a particular prison system, whether we made it one experimental prison or a group in one province. Right? I would gather the guards, I would gather the counselors, and I would try to teach them to become a community first. How's that for a difficult chore? And then, if I succeeded in getting the counselors and the guards and the wardens all, as we say, on the same page, understanding that the people who were in their charge were just folks and they were human, and our new job is to try to hear them differently as we've begun to hear each other in this setting. Because those who are incarcerated are treated in general as a lower form of human life, barely human. And thus the excesses of some sick guards and some, let's say, less than competent counselors is to maintain the sense of less than human among the prisoner group, the so-called inmates, and that if you start first with the guards and counselors and wardens, and you get them to understand who they are and what they really think about the prisoners, then you have a chance of getting some one-on-one relationship. Because often the only person with whom a prisoner has a relationship that's trusting is the clergy person who's there, because they can talk about God pretty easily, and that person is not part of the system. But you can't change what happens in prison, I believe, until you do something to help, honestly help, the people who are the structure of the prison system. So that's where I'd start. Does that make sense? But it can't be done by fiat. It can't be done by an edict passed in Ottawa, in Washington. Henceforth, all guards will be kind to all prisoners. You can't possibly do that. You start it by having meetings like we're having today, and you begin to think, can I take Don's strange ideas about affect and understanding shame? Can I use them anywhere? And the next time you see something that seems shame-related, you try it out. And if it works, you try it again. And maybe then you say, all right, maybe I will read one of the books or look at his website of the Tompkins Institute or look at the video or something like that. I'm not here because we make money on the video. We can sell the video at a relatively small value because $500,000 was put into it by a foundation. We don't have to make that back. I'm here because Larry Moore, do you know him? He's intense. Larry Moore, for a few years, has been writing me letters and emails saying, Don, you've got to do something about this. You've got to come here and help us out, you know. And so finally I found a way to come out here. And we do it one conversation at a time, like the conversation I've had with all of you here. You have no idea how many groups I see and how rare it is to find a group like you men and women here. This is a group of faces eagerly interested in what can we do differently. You're rare. I'd love to take all of you home with me and do something, have you take over something in my bailiwick, in my jurisdiction. It's the luck of British Columbia and wherever else you guys come from. Mission? Okay. God, it sounds like inadvertently I talked about the wrong hockey team. Damn. So, in answer to what you're saying, change is made one conversation at a time. Change is made the next time you see one of your kids have a shit fit and you say, wonder what got her so embarrassed. And it may not be easy to find out until you talk for half an hour and find out that someone dissed her in school. But if you stick with it and you listen and you get the narrative, then you get to the core of the problem. Remember what that Venezuelan college professor said to us, I have to change the way I teach now. Every one of us has to change. You, me, everybody we know. You can't, if you go out of here and you say, I was doing everything right before I came in here, I've lost. If you come out of here and you say, okay, I don't think I've been doing anything wrong, but I'm going to look for what he said, I've won. You've won. You and I, every one of us can make a different neighborhood, household, nation, era. We can make a difference. All I want to do is have kids in school learn to identify these 9 families of affect and learn about the compass of shame. We've done it in a few schools experimentally in rural Pennsylvania. And years later, perhaps I'll show you some of the video. Years later, those kids say, you know, I still do what I was taught in that class. It really makes sense. It doesn't take much to make change. Remember Newton's laws. Things at rest tend to remain at rest. Things in motion tend to remain in motion. If you move something, the earth changes. Who's next?